Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Weston Martinez coming to you from Siberia, Texas. So we just want to take a minute and talk to you, give you another update about what's happening here with the state of Texas, with ERCOT, and with what's been taking place. We got people jumping in from different places, so we'll give you all a chance to jump on here, and we look forward to seeing you guys. So y'all come on in and let's get this thing done. But, we're going to talk about what has been happening with ERCOT, what's been happening with out-of-state board members, and what is also going on with in your neck of the woods. So give me just a minute to let some people join in here. Betty, hope you're doing good. Hope you're okay today. TJ, hope you're okay today. Brett, glad to see you guys. So let's get to a couple of housekeeping things as people join on here. We're going to let you know what's going on in the next 48 hours. TJ, if we need somebody to send you to get some help, I'd be glad to send somebody. This is not how Texas should be run. And clearly we see that there's some problems going on in our state. So good to see you from Poteet, from Austin, from different parts of Texas. We're glad you guys are joining in. So stay involved, stay on here for just to let some other people join in here real quick. Hang on here. How do I get back to that? Okay, so a couple things we want to talk to you about. Being in the energy business and being involved in a bunch of different political things, and more importantly, being in the regulated utility world for a majority of my career, along with other things, is understanding the Public Utilities Commission, how they operate, and what's going on there. One of the things that we didn't know, that we just found out about, is the fact that 5 of the board members that are on ERCOT, 5 of those board members live outside of Texas. One board member, what we've heard so far, is that board member actually lives in Canada. So thank you for the cold, freezing Canadian winter you're allowing us to have. And so it's something that's going on right now. People are certainly gonna, heads are gonna roll in all kinds of ways to figure out what we're dealing with. And, for all of my friends that, we've talked about, how we're going to secede. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can't run our electric grid in Texas, then we sure as hell aren't going to be able to secede from anything. So we have to harden our infrastructure and get our stuff fixed so that we're not in this situation ever again. But so 5 of the board members live outside of Texas. One allegedly lives in Canada. After I screenshotted and put the link up to all of the board members' page the other day, which you can see it on my Facebook page, they took it down. ERCOT took that down. So kind of surprising that took place. And we have some of our neighbors that are actually walking to the grocery store. Hey, guys. Now, y'all are not Detroit Lions fans, I guess. Okay, good. Because I'm like, Detroit people should be driving in this weather. So, at any rate, so not only do we have these 5 people that are not even in Texas, but the ERCOT CEO has directed the utility companies that they can stop the forced brownouts / blackouts. So it just begs to ask the question, why is it still happening? Why are there people without power? Well, several reasons. One, some companies are not putting the power back on because it's too expensive. You see, with the scarcity market pricing model that we have, they can actually increase the price of the kilowatt, the price of the megawatt, to $9,000 per megawatt. So take $9,000 per megawatt, divide that down into your kilowatt, or just move the decimal point over, and you'll see how much ratepayers are going to pay. And that's going to be coming straight down to you and anybody else that's not in a fixed zone, fixed location. So that is something that really, as a whole, we've got to be watching out for, to see what's going on with our generators, with the ERCOT grid, with the Public Utilities Commission. I'll tell you, the Public Utilities Commissioners, they need to be elected positions. They should not be appointed positions anymore. We should have people who can have their feet held to the fire directly. Right now we see ERCOT all over the place, but we don't see the PUC commissioners anywhere, and they certainly are involved in what's going on. So the other thing that we'll remind people about is that, we had places like San Antonio that actually got out of, CPS Energy shut down their coal fire plant, and they took that expense and they put it into their wind generation. Wind generation, when you look at the price per kilowatt hour, it's actually cheaper to run solar than it is to run wind. They don't want to tell you that. But regardless of what we're talking about, if you don't have proper battery storage, then, you don't have a solution. So there really is two solutions. One, the Tesla folks are going to be happy about this. One of the solutions is we actually have to invest in real, oil and gas development. We have to invest in hardening our infrastructure. Winterizing. People have talked about, should we winterize our grid? That's a question that's come up recently. So the power generators, the wholesalers, those are the folks that are responsible for maintaining their facilities. Okay, ERCOT, the gambling table, the roulette table, they cannot force these generators to do different things. But what we can do is legislatively, we can say that no other dollars are going to go to any non-commercially viable power solution unless they have winterized their equipment. See, I mentioned on a previous podcast that part of what took place here is that Joe Biden, the President of the United States, actually got us back into the Paris Climate Accord. And because of that, we had a lot of generators that were not online. They were not online because if we had them running, we would not be in attainment, meaning we'd be out of attainment federally. The feds could come in and give us problems. And again, these are all things that are facts and documents. And so then the ERCOT CEO went to the acting Secretary of Energy, asked for permission to run those generators. They granted it. And then y'all check out my friend TJ Scott. He's a good guy. Then after the power companies, after ERCOT came back and said, hey, y'all turn your stuff on. Well, then things were too cold. Generators were popping. They weren't getting turned on. And so because of that, now we had generators that couldn't come online. So that's a pretty big scenario. The PUC, TJ, they might not know anything about power generation, but they certainly are involved in the oversight of the power generation program. In fact, TJ, my name was floated for PUC commissioner twice actually, and because I was in the utility world and was not separated from the utility world for longer than 2 years, I think is what the rules are. I couldn't get that, and that's fine. I'm not worried about that. Obviously, I got another statewide position that was a commissioner position that I held for 7 years, but we sit back and look at why would you not want people in a industry, in a position that actually had a little background, had a little bit of knowledge. And